Hey everyone, today I am going to be doing my first ever Storytime video, which I'm so excited about. I love watching these videos. I know there are some people who are really popular. Tana Mojo, her Storytimes are great. So I kind of mentioned this in a recent vlog and you all were like, yeah, you can't just leave us hanging. Like, come on, okay? We need some story times. So I thought that I would start off with probably the best one possible. And as you can see by the title, it was the time that I broke a window at school. Now, and got a referral. So this was crazy. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking like, why would you tell us the main plot of the story? But trust me, trust me, it was way crazier than just that. So I need to preface this story, give you a little bit of like a setting, a little bit of a background. So this was in 5th grade, okay? So in 5th grade, you're 10, 11. I don't remember the time of year. It was warm enough where we were outside, but I'm not sure if it was very beginning of the year or towards the end of the year. I don't know, but so I was either 10 or 11. And the way that I did 5th grade was I was at the middle school. So my elementary school was overcrowded, so they shifted all of the 5th graders to the middle school. Now, that basically meant that we were at an awkward place because we weren't elementary schoolers where they could kind of treat us more like babies, you know? I mean, not like they treat 5th graders like babies, but you're treated a different way than in middle school. That's why they're broken up. But we weren't technically at that middle school age. So it was a really weird time. The whole year, the kids all of the students in 5th grade kind of ran the grade. Like, the teachers had no control over any of us. It was just wild. So, okay, so the story starts off and we're outside. So we had recess and I don't know if it was like 30, 45 minutes, an hour maybe. Maybe it was a long recess, I don't know. But there were 3 of us. It was me and then my 2 best friends at the time. I'm not going to say anyone's names. But we were outside and it was the 3 of us. We were really good friends. I feel like it must have been towards the end of the year then because we were really close and we felt really comfortable at the school. I don't know. The timing doesn't really matter. But we were outside at recess, and the way the outside of the school is, it's like there's the track, which is sort of down like a hill. I mean, it's not even like a hill. It's maybe like a 10-foot vertical difference. So it's like it's kind of down this little hill, and obviously the track is like the whole entire thing is a 1/4 mile. So the half of it is like what, an 1/8 or whatever. So the teachers typically walked the track while the kids did anything. I mean, you could stay on the blacktop, you could go to the softball fields, which were like way far away. I mean, you could go wherever, and it was huge. There were 4 fields because there was the baseball field, the softball field, a soccer field, and the track and football area, and a blacktop, and this little area that we were in. So it was huge. There was no way the teachers could keep track of everyone. And because they were walking the track, I mean, they were like as far away as possible at some points. So it's not like they would be able to point out and be like, oh, that's Rachel, she's doing so-and-so, or that's this person, that's this person. So they had no control over us. So it was the 3 of us, me and my 2 friends, and then there were a few other people who were hanging around, kind of just talking to us, hanging out around this shed. So it sounds really sketch, but it was like I don't even know what it was made out of. It was like concrete or something, like concrete blocks kind of, but they weren't flat like a brick. It was like textured and sort of it was like each one of them was kind of curved or like pointed. It wasn't flat, it was very textured. And that was where I guess the yard, like the lawn equipment was, or who knows what was in there. But so we were out there just talking, blah, blah, like we normally would. And my one friend gosh, I have no clue where she got this idea from. She thought it would be a brilliant idea to create a game where you would find rocks around you, around that little shed area. They could be whatever size. And the point of the game was to break the rocks into as many little pieces as possible. Now, how are you going to break the rocks? Like, who's strong enough to break a rock? Well, you have to throw it against this building. Now, when I think about this, I'm like, what 10 or 11-year-old would agree to this game? Like, at that stage of your life, you are smart enough to make a decision and know that that is the dumbest thing you could possibly do at school. This building, this little shed thing, it had two windows that were like graphed or gridded. Does that even make sense? Gridded off, and so they were like little squares, but they were two decent sized windows. And, you know, we are just pitching these rocks at this building, I mean, as hard as we could. Now, obviously, we were in 5th grade. We weren't that strong. But we were pretty successful. I mean, you could break the rocks because the texture of the building kind of, I don't know, we were freaking breaking rocks on a building. Like, something wasn't right. But so she comes up with this idea and we're like, okay, that sounds fun. I mean, we had nothing else to do. So we are just like, I mean, throwing these rocks as hard as we could. I mean, just like whoosh, throwing them as hard as absolutely possible. And these rocks could have been normal size rocks to big ones. I mean, it was whatever you could find. And if you like happen to have the rock like splinter and a part of it would come off, then you like won or whatever. You got like brownie points. But so the three of us were the only ones actually doing it. There were a few other girls that were hanging around who may have done it once or twice, but they were just kind of around us. So I pick up a rock, and it was probably about this big. Okay, so a pretty friggin' big rock. And, you know, chuck it as hard as I could, and where does it go? Just straight through the freaking window. And I'm like, well, I'm screwed. And see, that's the weird thing about it, is that we were cool as cucumbers. It didn't even cross our mind that like, oh shit, we just broke a window at school. And it's not like it was even like an accident. You know, it was like we were throwing rocks at a building, like being idiots, you know, like there's no way that you could possibly get out of it type of thing, but we were just like, it happened, whatever, you know. So the teachers were walking the track as always, and they were kind of coming up towards us, like closer. So, I mean, we weren't even doing anything. I don't even remember what we were talking about, if we were like, oh, like, should we, I don't know if we were trying to like, be like, bye, we're out of here, like, we're not going to be around when they see this. But these two boys decided to go and tell on us. So they went and told the teacher, and, you know, they were like, Rachel, so-and-so and so-and-so just broke a window. And then this other kid comes over, and he walks over, and he found a Dorito bag laying on the ground. Now, okay, this just shows how, like, mental we all were. Like, I don't think anything was going on in any of our brains at this moment, like, for this whole entire day. But he decides to go and puff up the Dorito bag. It was an empty one, just laying on the ground somewhere that he found, and put it into the window. Now, it's not like it was like all balled up like inside the window. And I should tell you, the windows were like double. I don't know if you would necessarily say double paned, but I think how the windows worked where they were like blown glass cubes kind of. So there were two layers to it, and I only broke the first one. So there was still like a layer on that was protecting it from the actual inside. So he could stick the bag inside without it like completely falling through. But the bag was fucking sticking out like this far from the building. Like, okay. What is the point of that? He claimed that it would camouflage it, because every window has a Dorito bag sticking out of it. You know, like, no one's ever gonna think anything suspicious, like when they look at that. So that was stupid. So the teachers come over and they're like, so what happened? Like, I don't really remember this part exactly, but what they asked us, but they basically rounded us all up and we were standing there, and it was a bunch of us somehow. It was like everyone who was even around us got called up, and they were basically asking us what happened. And this part I don't remember what we said, what the explanation we said to the teachers was, or who was even talking, but we were basically just like, can't touch me, like, like nothing's gonna happen to me, I'm all good, like whatever, you can't prove anything, kind of sort of thing. Like, we were very arrogant and just like, okay, whatever, nothing bad's gonna happen. But this one girl who was standing near us was crying. Okay, she never even did anything. Like, she was just standing around us and she was like, I'm never gonna get into Harvard, I'm gonna have a referral. And we're all looking at her like, what are you talking about? You didn't even do anything. You're in 5th grade. You think this is going to prevent you from going to Harvard? She doesn't go to Harvard, by the way. So, maybe that was the reason. Oh my God, can you imagine? But, so they make us go and like line up by the door to the inside of the building so that we can go inside. That's like our punishment. We have to like stay and wait for them to come basically yell at us again. So we go over there and wait by the door, and we're just like talking, like no big deal, whatever, just like, it is what it is, kind of sort of thing. And we go inside, they kind of scold us again. And the weird thing is that all of us were in one class, but it was a teacher that like wasn't our main teacher who was like grilling us and like yelling at us. So it was really weird, and no one liked her. So it was like extra weird. But so she was talking to us and, oh, why were you doing this? I don't even know, honestly, if they asked us how it happened, because there would have been no proof. I mean, they could go off of someone's word, but like, what are they going to do? Test the rock particles on the window shards? I mean, it's like, it could have happened so many ways. So we eventually go and talk to the assistant principal, and she was kind of like a nutcase, like a little bit weird and just very eccentric, I guess. And so I don't even remember how many of us went to the assistant principal. I know it was at least the main 3 of us, but I think there may have been 2 other girls or something. The one who had been crying, I'm almost positive, was in there, and then I think there was another girl too. But so my one best friend, who was not the one who came up with the idea, but the other one, when the assistant principal asked us what happened, what were you doing? Why did you break the window? She came up with this brilliant plan, like on the spot. Like, I was just standing there. Okay, and you have to keep in mind, I'm the one who did this. Okay, like, I'm the one who totally threw the rock through the window. Wait, what did I say? I was the one who, threw the rock through the window. That messed me up. But they never really got to the bottom of that, like who it actually was, because we wouldn't have, I don't know if we all would have gotten in trouble if they would have asked like who actually broke it. But she came up with this story, okay, I'm not going to say a total lie because it was partially true, like from portion of time, but she said that we were trying to kill a spider. So she told the assistant principal that we saw a big spider and that we were throwing rocks at it to try and kill it because it was near us and we didn't want it near where we were talking or whatever. And that was partially true. I mean, for a few minutes during the game, there was a spider who happened to crawl up this wall, and its path happened to be where we were throwing the rocks. So I mean, it wasn't too much of a lie, like it was kind of true, but that's not the reason the window broke. But she didn't need to know that. I mean, like, we were trying to get out of this crap. Why would you, admit to doing it? That sounds terrible. But I don't know if she was a complete idiot and like actually bought it, or if she was just like going off our bullshit and like I don't know, but she basically went into this whole like animal abuse, animal blah blah whatever, and she's like, what did the poor spider do to you? Why were you trying to kill this poor innocent spider? And we're all standing there like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, we just broke a window and you're concerned about the spider's life? Like, what is going on right now? And we were just like, I don't know if we even said anything because we were so taken aback. We're just like, what? Like, am I hearing you right, lady? You're not busting us on that? Like, it was weird. But so we basically just continued to tell her that it was a spider, blah, blah. And yeah, we all got referrals for it because we broke a window. Eventually they did get like dissolved or whatever, like they just went away, they threw it out. But it was so weird because they never called our parents or anything. Like, I would have thought that if you break something at school, that they would bill you for it. And so for years afterwards, I was terrified every single time the school called, just for like normal news updates and whatever. I was like, oh my gosh. And I would like run away because I was paranoid that they, you know, even years later, that they were going to be like, oh, so your daughter did this and that. You have to pay this amount of money to replace the window. But they never did. And it was only a few years ago when I actually told my parents what happened because I thought that they would be so angry at me. But they didn't even care when I told them. They thought it was funny. So, oh well. And it's just like, it's a hilarious thing. Like, all of my 5th grade year was wild. I mean, like, there were other things that happened like that. Like, we were freaking insane. And that's not the only referral I got. I got another one too. The 3 of us in the group, all of us got at least 2. One of the other girls got 3. So we were a little bit crazy, but it was so fun. And it's just a hilarious memory. Every time I think about it, I'm just like, we were such idiots. Like, why did we even do that crap? Like, yeah, I don't know. We were stupid and obviously looking for some entertainment. So yeah, that is the story of how I got a referral and broke a window in 5th grade. Can you believe that? Can you believe that I would do that? Like, I broke a window at my school. That's insane. Who does that? Who does that? I guess I do. So let me know in the comments if you've done anything crazy at school. I would love to hear your stories. And if you would like to hear any more story time videos, I could probably pull up a few little ones from 5th grade as well because there were a few other little crazy incidents. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye, everyone.